What's going on, guys? This is the DeFi Crypto Alliance show where we do our best to be the bridge between our fellow real estate entrepreneurs, uh, real estate investors, and entrepreneurs, and the cryptocurrency world because crypto is the biggest opportunity and nothing's even close. So, welcome along. Today is your show. Corey's put the link in the chat. So feel free to come on and join us for the show today. We'll go ahead and chat whatever you guys want to chat about. Corey, take it away.
Absolutely. Corey Geary here, and just enjoying this journey with you guys where we're using cryptocurrency as that wealth creation tool and using some real world assets down the road as a wealth preservation tool. And we're still just kind of sitting in no man's land sideways. And it's been a lot of fun. This is like just kind of like the most boringest time in crypto, so it's just, we're here for you guys, and this show is your show. So come on today. Let's talk anything about money, anything about, crypto, real estate, whatever you want to talk about. This is your guys' show.
Yep. Let's do it today.
Yeah, Norbert already on. All right.
Awesome.
Money. Make the world goes round and round. What's up, guys?
What's up, Norbert?
Yeah, all good, all good.
What's the good word? Where are you driving to?
I'm going to the gym for a sauna session. I went for a massage yesterday. My body is beaten up so badly. I didn't know. When you go for a massage and you didn't know that you have pain in your body, and then especially if you go for like Thai massage, like something stronger, and then she finds it, and then after that you come out like you've been beaten up like so badly.
Yep.
But yeah, what about you? How are you feeling, guys?
Ready for some up, please, sir. That's what we're all waiting for, man.
I'm bleeding. when you think that this is the bottom, like we're not gonna go lower, then you realize like, oh, you think it was the lowest. Let me show you there's something else here.
Well, here's a topic that I think is an interesting one. So, and we see a lot of it, right? Like, and we've been talking about this ever since we've been doing our show about the importance of dollar cost averaging into your positions. But like you're saying, Norbert, I mean, you dollar cost average in, you're thinking price is a good place, and then it goes lower, and it goes lower, and it goes lower again. And one of the charts I saw somebody post is from the Hex top. Hex has gone down 90% 3 different times. It's in the gutter. And so is there a way how could you strategically, I've got my own ideas, but I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are. How could you strategically place bets without, buying what feels like a bottom and it actually not being one? What are your guys' thoughts?
I mean, Sprack Berger, that'd be a great question for him. I mean, he's the chartist, the chart master. So like,
there's an answer. It's simple. It's DCA. You put your measuring stick into the pond before you put both feet in. So you start to slowly deploy capital, and then if it goes down a little deeper, then you deploy more, and it's basically it.
Well, that's what I'm saying for the people that have bought. Now, thank goodness Corey and I have not done this because we were able to see the trees through the forest, so to speak. But I mean, there's been people that have been dollar cost averaging since the Hex top at 55 cents, and would have had a whole lot more ammo had they had the hindsight that we had now, right? And so, how can listeners, how can people keep themselves from that pain? How can they be more tactical in their dollar cost averaging?
Yeah, so if you take a look at other assets, something like Bitcoin or whatever, like there's people that have bought the top of Bitcoin from previous cycles and they're doing okay. So you either have to wait another cycle, or you can get strategic with your size and or look at trend lines. So like what signals like the end of a bearish channel? You have to use some technical lines and see if you've broken out of like in other words, use some kind of indicator to give you an edge, and you can either deploy at those moments, or you can deploy heavier at those moments. But it was hard if you went heavy at the top,
Right.
and that gives me what do you call it? And I've done this before, so I'm not like judging anyone, but it tells me that you're greedy because you're going heavy when there's momentum to the upside, and you're FOMOing to try to catch it. And if you're a little more patient, you can wait for a pullback. Even after something bottomed out and you completely missed the bottom, that's okay. You can always wait for a breakout and a retest. It always happens. It always happens. You can almost guarantee it. There's very few times where there's like a perfect V-shaped recovery. It almost doesn't exist unless that market's being manipulated by a government or a very, very, very large player. And that gives you even more confidence, because if a big, large government or a big, large whale comes in and buys something and actually pumps the price, then you're okay coming in after that person because they're not going to sell.
Right.
I'm actually glad you said that. I think that's been one of my biggest takeaways over the last year, as I went back and I was looking at charts and some of my entry points. And there's been certainly a handful of times where I felt like I'd gotten left behind on something, and I did what you're talking about, where I FOMO bought something because I was like, oh crap, some gains are better than no gains though, and I went ahead and I bought something later, and every single time, you're right, I've had a good entry point back to the place that I wish that I would have gotten if I would have just been more patient, which is fascinating, especially looking at a lot of the meme coin charts. I mean, right now you could almost buy back to, you could buy, some of these are like a 40x back to the top if you're to buy them now, 60x back to the top if you bought them now. It's fascinating to see that. So I think that's a really interesting, really important talking point.
Yeah, don't feel too bad. Don't beat yourself up on it. That's what these markets are designed to do. They're designed to get you in when your psychology is off, sort of imbalanced. And yeah, that's just human nature. Now you can get better. You can turn around and say, all right, that could have been done a little bit better. And then you start to sort of like adapt and change your strategy and get smarter. And then later on your entries will get better. You're not going to be perfect. You're never going to be perfect. And just little by little, it's like continuous measurable improvements. And I think your journey will become more successful and more successful. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Agreed 100%. It's
not
been
supposed to be easy, guys. Not supposed to be easy.
No. It's been an incredible learning experience, this bear market, to see things that you did that worked and things that I definitely could have played better. And there's plenty of both, which is good. It's not not only losses. It's really interesting to see. So definitely getting better over time.
And it's also not all the time. We tend to make decisions most of the time based on emotions, fear, greed. But it's not just necessarily these two, in my opinion, because when you watch a a YouTube video, you see a post, you talk to a friend, and they say, yeah, you should look at this thing. No one can anticipate at that moment, like even if you put your trend line on it, what if it's gonna break the trend line? Then you have to find another trend line, and then Bristology mentioned it so many times. Oh, back in the old days when, oh, if we reach 1 cent, oh my god, and then it did another 55x from that point. Like when they were only hoping for a 1 cent hex. So yeah, it's a difficult one, but it's better to buy on a red days. Me and my friends, we decided that once we start taking money out from the trading accounts, what we're gonna do is every time, for example, the other day you had these red day based on a news, and then the market tanked, the stock market and crypto and everything just tanked because of Japan and greed. It was a pretty good buying opportunity at 50K. We bounced back, 20% in a matter of days, not even that. So 20%, if you have guys like you who's got like, 5-6 figures, put, like, I don't know, 50K, you make 10K in like 2 days. That's pretty good in my opinion. And then, you know that already. And then it's also good to always connect these things. I learned it from British guy. You look at the price, you look at the history, and then you decide if it's at a good value or not. We know for a fact that 50K is a good value because apparently, what's the old fella's name? The one with the glasses. I always forgot his name. The way, what's his name? He bought Bitcoin at 50K. And before that, he said, oh, it's Warren Buffett. And before that, he said, oh, Bitcoin is rubbish. But when it reached 50K, then it's a good price. It represents a good value because 2 Bitcoin can give you 100K.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. There's always pullbacks,
Yeah,
always
so
an opportunity. In
that's-
fact, it's funny to see the guys, that call an asset class garbage go in and buy. There's a right price for everything, right? And so
yeah.
had a good price, and he said, "Oh, all of a
Because
sudden
then you
this is a great thing."
then you can take it. Then you start thinking, okay, if people are willing to pay 50K for this thing and it's been around for over a decade, then it must be something there. It's good to throw a little bit of change on it. For him, probably a little bit of change it was, and I'll see how it goes.
Right.
But yeah,
What's
that's
going
my
on,
take on
Ginger?
these dollar cost averaging. Like if you want, then there, save.
I like it. What's going on, Gingerbread Man? What are your thoughts?
Can you guys hear me okay?
We can,
Yeah.
sir.
I'm out shopping, so it might be kind of spotty, but we'll go anyway. Yeah, man, I think it's interesting because I had to check myself just the other day. I'm like, man, like nothing's going on.
We lost him.
Oh, it's not me, it's him. All right,
Gingerbread
we'll be
Man.
back.
You got rug.
He's out. What did Sprack? What do you want to chat about as far as memes are? I see. Let's talk about memes. Let's do it, man.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, you could tell which ones are showing some resilience because as soon as they capitulated, like memes, like when the market corrects, memes take the biggest hit,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them are down like 60%. But pay attention to the ones that are up 30% from that bottom. In some cases, some of them are up like 100% or 150% from that bottom. And so just pay attention to that. Not that they're, going to do bad, but memes are very difficult. And almost 99% of them will fail. And what the market chooses, I don't like buying the bottom of memes simply because uh, you don't know which is the one that the market's going to choose. It's not technical. It's not fundamental. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's a cultural thing, and
Mm-hmm.
you want to wait for the market to start to decide which ones they're going to back and get behind, and then you can ride that momentum. But it was interesting to see some of them capitulate, and I trimmed a lot of my memes before the dump. Um, Again, not a genius, just kind of a methodology that I was up like 5x on some of them. So I was like, okay, I'm trimming right here. I had no idea that there was going to be a dump, but I can choose now which ones I want to put money back into, and or not, or just say, look, the ones I was in were garbage, and I'm lucky that I got out or got some of it out, right? And I never sell the whole thing anyways. I take like 20% clips whenever they pump a certain amount, and it's just kind of what do you call it, mechanical. Um, and what I need to get better at is less positions, because managing too many positions, some of them I catch too late, and I end up like, oh, I missed that buy or I missed that sell. So I could do a lot more improving, for sure. Um, but yeah, interesting to see how the memes are recovering. Interesting to see which ones are recovering, and go from there, because some of them are never coming back.
Right.
Right.
You can kind of tell.
That's an interesting point. I'm looking at some of these. So something like we could do some of this. So let's look at a few of them. I think that's an interesting point. I'll share my screen. So here's, for instance, like Brett has been a decently, big one here in the last while. And you're saying look at the ones that have recovered from this dip. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
So something like Brett is up 30%. Let's find a stinker. What's one that has not recovered? Can you name us a stinker off the top of your head there?
Yeah, like Roost.
Roost.
Yeah, since you're on the base chain, ROOST. That one had some promising, and it had good liquidity, and it had a lot of influencers behind it, and this thing that's not recovering.
This just died.
That's not recovering.
Yeah, it would take a miracle. That's like, yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. And again, there was a lot of sort of attention associated with that coin. It wasn't just one of the thousands that get released. And if you look at WIF and look at how that one's recovering, you can see that.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, that's
Yeah,
what, like, I mean, look at that. Yeah, that's a 70% recovery. How interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, I think WIF has a chance to recover. I think the Brett has a chance to recover. And then I guess let's look at AVAX. Let's look at, Pepe's a good one too. Pepe, I think, is also showing signs of recovery. On the one on the Ethereum is the real one, so to speak. Yeah, that
Right.
kind of wicked down, and
It's had a good recovery. Yeah, what is that? Yeah, 40% recovery.
20%. Look at COQ on AVAX.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's it. Cockinu. So this one we're not quite sure yet, but it's it hasn't tanked too hard. Only
I mean, it's a 40% recovery.
Yeah. So you see, the market is kind of catching some of these, and these could be buying opportunities for some of these. Like if you do like what I do is basically buy some AVAX token, and then I'll buy like the premier meme coin on that chain, and then I'll buy like the premier DEX token on that chain. So on AVAX it would be either Pangolin or Trader Joe, and you could go there. You could, that's a good start. Same thing with Base. You would buy like the Arrow token. So let's take a look at Arrow.
Is it ARROW? Just like a
AERO. AERO.
like that?
It's AERO. Like Arrow.
ER.
Oh, ERO. I'm sorry. I'm like that. Oh, AERO. I'm sorry. I'm not hearing you right. There we go.
There you go. 5 million in liquidity. It's pretty. Yeah, that's it. The guy has Arrow drawing.
76 million. There's a lot of liquidity here.
Yeah. See, look at this one.
Oh yeah, the recovery here has been strong.
Yeah, and it did not put in a lower low. It put in a higher low.
Right.
Yeah.
The structure
50%.
there is good.
Yeah. So these are the kind of things you want to look at when there's a big, massive capitulation. Now it could go down further, right? But this would be like, oh, one of my bullets can go today, and then I save 5 other bullets for another day. And
Right.
what you also want to see is you want to see it go sideways for a little bit, and then start to trend up and take out that previous high or that previous local high. The one that happened, no, not that one. The one that happened in July, August timeframe.
Oh yeah, this one right here.
So take out the high, the top of that.
Yeah, right up here, right?
Go to the right.
In April.
No. In like July, August timeframe.
Oh, this
There.
one right here.
Yeah. So if you take out that high, now you've got a low, a high, a higher low, and a higher high. You just have a trending market now. That's
Right.
it. So now you have a trend. Now you have an uptrend that you can ride, and this is the beginning formations of that uptrend.
Right.
Okay. So again, these are just confluencing factors that'll give you confirmation. Again, nothing's 100%, but you'll have way better probabilities of catching something that's moving to the upside than trying to catch the bottom.
Agreed. Trying to catch a falling knife is brutal.
Sucks.
Sucks
We've done it so many times.
Sucks bad. Oh man. So I think it's an interesting conversation. How many tokens do you guys think it makes sense to hold in a portfolio to track? So for instance, when you have a capitulation event, or you have, things that are soaring, at what point do you have so much stuff that you're like, it doesn't make sense to pay attention? You've overextended. I'm curious, Sprackburger, how much, I know that you said that maybe you had too much. How much stuff is too much? Where do you break that for you?
I think about 35.
Okay.
Yeah, that to me, I think that was too much. 35 open positions.
That's a bunch, right?
That's way too much. You need more than 5, in my opinion, to break the systemic risk percentages. So going back to like portfolio management theory, if you have one stock, you have 100% of the market risk in one asset. So a plane falls out of the sky, or a liquidation event, or some CEO goes to jail, you're done. That stock is going to crash. But if you have like 2 stocks, you reduce your systemic risk by like 20-30%, and then 5 stocks, you reduce it by 40-50%, and then up when you start getting up to like 10 to 15 stocks, you're reducing your systemic risk by like 80% or something like that. But I think once you get to like 20, 25, it starts to taper off. And to own 500 stocks, you only get like another 4% of risk reduction in systemic risk. So the magic number is somewhere around 15 for asset managers. Again, these are just like, rule of thumb kind of numbers that portfolio managers would recommend. 15 stocks, 25 stocks is okay. Once you're in the 30s, it doesn't give you that much more diversification advantages. So there's being too diversified is not good. Being under diversified is also not good. So there's a magic number in there somewhere. And you're okay. And also like how you're hedged, like things like that.
I like it. We look at a couple of the memes on Pulse Chain. I mean, looking at this one is Teddy Bear. You're up. The measuring's not going to work here on this one. That's all right. Is it? Let's see. No, it's not going to work. So what is that? 8 zeros and a 9 to. I'm not going to do the math in my head, but same thing here. I mean, you haven't put in a new local low on Teddy Bear. Something like PDI, I think, is the same type of thing. I mean, those are a couple of some of the strongest narratives on Pulse Chain.
Along with SolidX.
Yeah, let's look at SolidX. I think SolidX hasn't put in new lows either. I think it's holding up. This is not the right chart.
No, it's not.
What about Dick with Black?
Dick with butt.
I think it's holding up all right, actually. Let's look at it. There we go.
Yeah, that one was good. I did take some. Oh yeah, but see, it's going.
It's holding up all right.
It's holding up, and if you see like if you draw like a trend line from the top to like those previous highs, you could kind of see if it's going to break that trend line. Yeah, you see it broke it once, broke it twice.
Yeah, kind of broke it there. Yeah, broke there, broke there.
Broke there, broke. So you have phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. And as soon as you get above one of those previous highs,
right,
you're in an uptrend.
It's nice. I feel a lot less, or I feel a lot more patient with needing to get into stuff. I was thinking through how I felt when I was new to crypto, and I always felt this rush, right? The FOMO. I didn't want to miss out. And so it's nice to feel less of that, I would say. Anyways, I feel like I could be more strategic in how I'm coming and approaching some of this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, because like you said, it could be buying, it could dip lower. So, save some ammo for either a lower dip or a higher low. Like when you get a recovery and then a pullback to try to retest some of those levels, and then you want to ride that continuation, get that momentum. It's okay to buy a little bit higher. You have just better probabilities of success. Don't get too greedy. That's kind of the gist of it.
I just want to say, I don't know if it's for anybody else, but Sprackburger, I can barely hear you. It sounds like you're talking into like a water bowl.
It is a little quiet.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. I'm using the laptop here, so.
Okay. You're better now, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'll speak into the laptop.
that might help.
Yeah.
Well, you got 35 coins you're invested in? Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't call them investments.
More like airdropped and
What would you call them?
It's so I have a process where I know when I buy a coin, I know when I'm getting out, and more than half of them have already paid for themselves. So they're kind of riding for free.
Nice.
And yeah. And some of them, the ones that I have higher conviction on, the layer ones, those I don't trim. I just kind of like add to pullbacks, kind of like layer ones, yeah, I don't trade those too much. But the smaller ones I kind of snipe. And I only put in small amounts, and I want to get a bunch of free runners.
Yeah. Yeah.
Free runners, and then just let the market sort of raise all the ships.
Gotcha.
Al says, keep in mind about the sacrifice. All Pulse Chain coins were free, so we're all in profit, even if they go down. There's one take. Everyone in profit today since they were free. That's right.
That's true. Your P hex is at infinite price up because you got it for 0.
That's right.
Now you're
Unless
free.
you bought it.
Unless you bought it.
That makes everyone feel warm and fuzzy.
I got probably about like 6 or 7, maybe 8 coins that I have actual, I would say, money invested in, and then the rest of them are just like, I don't know, like airdrops and just like things that were given to me and bull crap,
Sure.
Nice.
I like it. Hey Corey, I've got if you wouldn't mind running point for just a second, I gotta take this call here real quick.
Okay, go.
All right, be right back.
For sure.
What's up, gentlemen?
So
How's
what's up,
everyone
Brett?
going?
How you doing, brother?
Freaking looking at this portfolio, thinking, what the heck?
I don't even look at my portfolio on days like this. I know. I just like it's there. It'll be there, and me looking at
Just
it is not gonna.
ask yourself a question. What was I thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I see price go down, and then I go, okay, do I want a DCA today? That's the question I ask myself. If no, then I don't even look at it.
I know I'm running out of DCA money.
I think most people are, Brits.
But I got a lot of good DCA in kind of last month, at the end of last month.
I did too.
And it's all everything that I DCA'd and bought, the prices are all lower now. Son of a bitch.
I don't know, man. What is ink today?
188.
188. Jeez.
I know, right?
Wow.
This is the opportunity, though.
It is.
We just saw these things at like $8 a couple months ago.
$10 is what, wasn't it the local high?
I think it was closer to 8.
Okay.
That's what I remember. But
So what do you guys think about Ethereum?
Isn't it kind of pumping today a little bit? Are we finally going?
I mean, it's up from like a day or two ago. I think it hit as low as like almost like 21.
Yeah.
Low 21s. Yeah, kind of peaked down to like 2100.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's a pretty good bump up.
I have some thoughts on that.
Yeah, what is it?
So there's some speculation that somehow the price is being suppressed. And there could be a couple of factors. We thought that getting the Ethereum ETFs through would be a bullish sentiment, and it is, but a lot of people are comparing it to the Bitcoin ETF that happened in January. And you have to look at what market conditions were in January when that ETF got released. Q1 is typically bullish. A lot of asset managers are coming back from Christmas break. They've had a good Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year, all that stuff, and then they start opening the positions and they start getting bullish into Q1. This is like midsummer. Most asset managers are out. Not a lot of people are buying. Again, these are ETFs because this is Wall Street,
Right.
and so the market has bearish sentiment in that regard for risk assets. Number one. Number two, we're going into an election, which has political uncertainty. Number three, there is the Federal Reserve and their inability to cut rates, and some sort of like uncertainty in macroeconomic kind of events. And then what didn't help was the yen carry trade finally capitulating after 80 years. And I'm interested to see how all risk assets, not just Ethereum, but like the global stock market and all of the other risk assets recover from this, because we got a lot of macroeconomic pressure. And so the Ethereum ETF could have just had bad timing when it was released. And if you look at what BlackRock or Schwab or Fidelity are doing to advise their clients, is they are advising to have a mixed bag of Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I forgot what the ratio is, but I think it's like 70-30 or something like that. Right now, the Ethereum positions are only like 1% compared to like the Bitcoin position. The inflows on Bitcoin versus the inflows on Ethereum, it's not even that great. Again, like when it came out and what it was, and Bitcoin ETF was like the best performing ETF of all time in the history of ETFs. So it's going to be really difficult to try to, take that out. However, I think that this could be an opportunity for Ethereum or Ethereum based tokens like Beta plays on Ethereum, things like Pulse Chain, things like Ethereum name services, things like Uniswap, things like Aave and whatnot. The DeFi protocols on Ethereum. I think those could eventually run later once the market finds a direction, finds some stability, and we get political certainty, maybe after the election, maybe after the Fed pivots, maybe after the market sort of starts to recover, and that could happen in Q4. So
you think Ethereum will start running in Q4 then after?
Yeah, that's what I think. That's my my guesstimate, and it could be like not artificially, but it could be unfairly suppressed at the moment, and that could be a good sign. I have quite a bit of Ethereum, so I'm interested in that. Yeah, it's probably my biggest position. So yeah, it is. One of think it is. Yeah, I know it is, especially for like some of the IRA stuff, like the traditional, my traditional.
Yeah, you got a lot of
I-
your retirement stuff in there.
Yeah, because you can only buy securities in those portfolios, and so you only have two or three choices. You have Bitcoin or Ethereum, and yeah, so like in some of those portfolios, I went ahead and converted. I think I dumped all my Grayscale stuff and rotated back into either Bitcoin, Ethereum ETFs or Coinbase stock. I really like Coinbase stock. Again, this is inside of that portfolio that I have to stick with regulated securities.
Or
So,
yeah, traditional.
yeah, so I have a mixed bag there, but yeah, the biggest bag is Ethereum. So
That would be my biggest pack too if I had a retirement account I was investing from. So
Yeah. I am curious to see how Coinbase does though. That's very interesting to me, just because of all the things we talked about earlier. When the bull market was at its peak during the last cycle, they were raking in like $3 billion a month or something like that.
yeah,
And the other thing is that they sold most of their stock when they went public. So they had all this cash. And when the bear market came in, they had bullets. And they bought like an F ton of smaller coins and smaller projects. And they were able to launch the base chain. And you notice something about the base chain, it doesn't have a token.
I know.
So who's
There's a lot
earning
of
all that?
speculation that's going to change though. There's going to be an airdrop.
They said they have no plans of launching a token, Coinbase. So who has the validators? Who's earning all the fees? Coinbase.
Coinbase,
Coinbase.
of course,
And
centralized.
I think they want it that way. I don't think they want a token. I don't think they need one. I think that they already have one, and it's Coinbase stock.
It's
and
Coinbase. That makes sense.
It's Coinbase stock, and they went and bought all this shit. They bought all these tokens. They bought all these projects. They funded all these VC rounds. So they have like hundreds of smaller tokens, and they bought the bottom of the bottom, and they probably got nice VC deals. So when the market kicks back up, when the bull market returns, they're not only going to capture all of the earning potential. Remember, they got rid of FTX. They got rid of Binance in the US. And their only competitor, I think, is Kraken, which is a tenth of their size. So they're going to be a monster when it comes to onboarding new crypto users. And then they're going to onboard them onto their base chain first. They're going to create the wallet. They have a really good wallet, too. And it's going to become a smart wallet. And I think they're well positioned as a company. And then also their assets under management. This is all going to show up on their balance sheets because they, by law, they have to report everything that they're earning, everything that they own, everything that's on their books. They're regulated. And I think we talked about this with Funding Jim, like how that fence post turtle, like right now, no one's looking at their stock, at least like the boomer guys. They're kind of like, yeah, it's just this crypto stuff, right? But once the fees and all of that money starts to come in and their AUM value starts to go up, it's going to start, setting these alarm bells and ending up on Market Watch and ending up on Motley Fool and all these, whatchamacallits. Anyway, long story short, I'm very interested in see how Wall Street sort of like FOMOs into Coinbase as a stock. Yeah.
I was just thinking, I think this would be a good place for me to put some of my Ethereum into ink.
Yep.
I mean, what do you guys think will happen first? Ink to $10 or Ethereum to 12,000?
That's a good question, Briz. Because I mean, our ecosystem is one massive leverage play on ETH. But 12,000, I would say
all I did was I did the math of Ethereum at current price times 5 versus Inc at current price times 5, and Inc at a 5x from here is $9.40, and 2593 times 5 is almost $13,000.
yeah.
So what do you think will hit first? Inc the 10 or Ethereum the 13,000? I'm actually, I think it's about time I make my play onto back into Inc from Ethereum.
I think Inc will hit $10 when Ethereum hits 7,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I like that. However, like my conservative background tells me that your weight adjusted return risk returns associated with like how much ETH versus Inc you have, you would put a smaller amount into the Inc because of the risk associated with your how many sigmas out are you from the standard deviation and things like that. But hey, you could be like the absolute genius and make us all look dumb.
I tend to do that. Just kidding.
Yeah.
No, I'm fuck, what's that one character from The Simpsons? Ralph. I'm like Ralph on the bus, and the bus is like going towards like a cliff, and I'm just sitting there. I'm just I'm in danger.
I'm in danger.
All in ink. Not even that's what makes me a great investor. I don't know the dangers I'm putting my money into, and it just ends up working out. And like I said, I bought Bitcoin in 2013. I was like, this seems legit. Everyone's like, are you fucking crazy? I felt like Jack and the Beanstalk. Mom, look at my digital coins. She's all, you just sold all your money for fucking digital coins?
For magic coins.
For World of Warcraft gold? No, I can't even use it in any video games, Mom. You bought video game gold? No, I can't use it in video games.
Hey, Briz, if you
Yeah.
have a minute, something just came across my desk, and I have a golden opportunity for you. If you just give me 30 seconds, I can
All
explain.
right. I'm in. Say no more, fam. I'm all in.
This one is going to be a golden ticket. I swear to God. I can see this going to the moon.
All right, let me hear about it.
That was the Wolf of Wall Street sales pitch. We fell for it. So.
Look, this just came across my desk. It's a high-tech investment firm doing digital finance, fintech. Have you heard of fintech? No, of course not.
Greatest movie ever.
That's funny. That's funny.
The Big Short is my Christmas movie. I watch it every year during Christmas.
Have you guys seen Dumb Money?
Yeah, that's really good too.
Yeah. Trading Places is my favorite Christmas movie.
I can't hear you again, Sprack.
Trading Places is my favorite Christmas movie.
Orange Futures.
Yeah, orange juice, pork bellies, and there's a really like cool Santa scene in that one.
It's been a while since I saw that movie, but yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, he becomes a drunk Santa, a drunk homeless Santa, stealing food from like a banquet and pulling out a gun on some rich people.
Do you want to comment on this, Brack?
Solid X. I have a free position in Solid X. So whether it goes up or down,
You got no risk.
I have no risk. I hope it
That's
goes
good.
up. I don't know
Me
where it's at. Maybe you could pull up a chart and we could look at it.
Me too. I have a position. Let's see if I can pull it up. Let me find the chart first because for some reason when I just share, it will.
I mean, that's really. I think you guys just got a little preview into my investment thesis on these coins. I just, I take a random number and I just go, hey, which coin can get there first? Do you think Bitcoin will get to what's 60,000 times 5? 300,000? Do you think Bitcoin's going to get to 300,000 first or Inc to $10? And that's why I put my money on Inc.
You see how my deck screener always screws up when I'm streaming. I do not know why it does this.
Wow. Just hide your
Idiot thing.
you can hide your tools on the left. There's a
Me-
little eyeball. Yeah.
Yeah, but is it gonna
Yeah. You can just hide everything.
stop glitching?
Oh, I see.
There. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so this one looks okay because it's breaking those downtrend lines that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And that steepness of that downtrend is actually getting less and less steep. And you notice how like there was a little bit of buying that came in and it's starting to go sideways. You could DCA now, or you could wait till we take out that previous local top at about $30, somewhere right there. Yeah, I like that.
Right there. Yeah.
If we break,
$39.
if we break above that, you can wait for like a pullback and then start to ride an uptrend. We'll see. Again, I think some of these coins, like the Solid X, TA is a little more difficult because you have players that own a large portion of liquidity,
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
they could do whatever they want, regardless of the TA. So just bear that in mind.
So what happened with Solid X? I thought the Firewell had ink farms going on, and he was just pumping his ink into it.
He's not pumping ink into it right now.
Why?
I do not. I anticipate he's waiting for the RH tokens to pump first. Here it is. Here it is against Pulse. Let me hide my ugly line. But there it is against Pulse too. There, Sprack. Yeah, Briz. I think he's waiting for the RH assets to pump. Because I mean, ink right now, it's worth $1.85, right? Like I think he'd rather wait for it to be worth $5, $7, $8. That's what I think. I mean, I could be wrong.
But he's earning it for like literally free. It's just coming into his account like he's making yeah, he's making a ton of money. It's like, yeah, it's low, but I'm like, why is he just not injecting that capital in? And because I mean, to me, it seems like, hey, man, if everything's going down right now, like everything, but if Solid X was going up,
Up,
I think, right? I think people would probably
pay
be
attention.
putting their money into there because they see it going up versus I feel like it's like losing a lot of steam. And now people are like, I don't know if I want to invest in this thing anymore until it starts going up again. So I'm just like, I thought he just had like, basically a faucet that he was just, it's like that extension cord that your neighbor has plugged into your wall. It's like
Mhm.
it's taking your electricity. It's like, hey man, why don't you turn on the lights, buddy? Like
Yeah,
you got the electricity plugged in.
they're launching some game coming out soon too, where basically the game will burn Solid X and Ink. I don't know the details behind the game, of what it entails, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
That's cool. I hope that happens. But yeah, I'm just kind of like a little perplexed on why he turned the faucet off, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think he's stacking his coins and waiting for it to pump again. But who knows?
I mean, because like other than the RH coins, and what's up, Frank? What's up, Gingerbread Man?
Hey guys.
Other than the RH coins, really the Solid X project is kind of like the one thing I see as a potential, just because I can see where the money could come from.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
pump it up. It's like, hey man, I got millions of dollars in these farms making like, I don't know, 60, 70% APR. And it's like,
So which one does
Turn
the
on the
10x
faucet.
exactly.
Riz, which one does the 10x first, Ink or Solid X?
I mean, I feel like Solid X could do it if you just turned on the faucet, but I don't know.
Good question. What's
like
going on,
Solid
Frank? How we doing, man?
Good. I really like Solid X. I like what's behind it, and I keep hearing better and better things about it. So I think it's more than just a meme coin. I think there's some real fortitude behind it. But
It was supposed to be the coin that brings all the attention from Solana. That was like part of the narrative, is to, that means we got to moon really hard if we're going to bring attention from Solana.
You should have named it Solana X.
Solana X on Pulse Chain.
Yeah.
And the fact that somebody just put in the chat that there's, he's working on a game. I mean, who knows gaming better than somebody that's in the business, and what will bring in money. And
I think he owns casinos in real life. He owns a casino. So
funny story. I've been listening to you guys. I had to take my son to get his wisdom teeth removed this morning, and that's no fun. Just kind of waiting. I feel like I've taken on some of the energy of him getting his teeth extracted. But yeah, yesterday, thinking about the sentiment and stuff, my wife and I were having breakfast, and I was like, man, I mean, this is lasting forever. I'm like, I'm thinking, there's part of me that's like, I thought I had my bags packed at one point, and now I look at it and go, is this going to be enough to get us where we want to go? And she goes, it was funny. She goes, interesting. She goes, that's fear of future FOMO. She's like, that's FOMO. And I go, yeah. And she goes, well, if you keep thinking like that, you're going to be fucked. I thought it was hilarious. It was just one of these moments. You're like, oh. So, yeah.
Let's just say, honey, don't worry. We only have about 1.5 years to go.
That's a realistic. I think that's the thing that's kept things going throughout the bear market is we already knew what we signed up for. We said, okay, in the next 4 years, you committed to that at some point unknowingly at the top. So all you're doing is waiting to get to the top again. All we're doing is waiting to get to the top again, So yeah. And like somebody said earlier today, it's not easy. But what's interesting too is I haven't complained about crypto much. I complain about other things, but I don't complain much about crypto. It's like I love it. I love the community. I love why we're here. And yeah, so I complain more about golf.
And honestly, Frank, like you're not the only one. I think everyone feels that way, right? You're like nobody expected the price to be where it's at now, and you're like, well, crap, do I have enough in now to make a meaningful impact when we go back up? The fact of the matter is nobody knows, right? Like time will tell. We will see. Corey and I were talking about this the other day, and I'm like, man, how much longer do you dollar cost average in? And that's different for everybody, right? So you have to make that determination for yourself and determine like how much is enough. It's interesting to consider.
Yeah, and I think everybody gets a jolt of when you DCA, you get a jolt. It feels good to DCA. It's like you're playing part of a game,
It does.
And I felt like instead of putting bigger chunks in, I was doing it. I've been doing it in small amounts, and I'm having more fun and more joy with it over time, spending about the same amount of money. So, there is that factor. And, buying the bottom, right now, the downside hopefully isn't as far down if it does go down. So you feel better about buying bottoms, yeah.
And to that point, Frank, for me, like I'm not super bullish on Solid X because, well, I don't hold any, so go buy my fake stable coins. That's what I'm super bullish on. But anyway, with that being said, it's interesting to go and look at the meme coin charts because, man, all of them are just murdered, right? Teddy bears way down, P-Dies way down, Solid X way, way down. I mean, and that's for everything. And so it's interesting that Sprack mentions earlier in the stream, like the meme coins that you may want to go and take a nibble at are the ones that are, have a little bit of life because in all reality, maybe those meme coins, like it's done for them. Maybe not, right? And if they turn the faucet back, I mean, that's a different conversation. But I tell you what, I mentioned a couple Fridays ago that I was finding some more creative ways to get financing to put in. Well, I'm out and about today creating that or changing that creative financing into liquid cash. So looking to put it in, I'm about halfway through my stack and I'm looking to clear out the other half. So if you have questions, reach out to me.
That's cool. So I know you said you had a line of 150,000. So you're halfway through that now of investing?
I'm about halfway through of getting it liquid. And it ended up being a little bit less. I thought I'd be approved for more. It ended up being a little bit less than that. But I'm about halfway through of liquidating it, and I got the other half that I got to go and hammer out.
That's awesome. That's very inspirational when you shared that a few weeks ago, man. That was very inspirational.
Yeah, man. Happy to help. But and one other point, you guys had asked me earlier, and then my stream died out. Just what my thoughts are. I think. Gosh, we've been talking about this for a long, long time that I think we're close to the bottom. Like, I don't see us going down anymore from here. It seems to be the bottom. I just am not confident in that, man. I am not confident in that sentiment. I think we may have some more downward pressure, and I think that's okay. And I think it'll chop sideways, and there'll be little pumps here and there. But the timing doesn't seem to be right for us to do a whole lot. But I tell you what, there are the building blocks in place right now for it to be a gigantic rocket ship. They just need to fall into place. So I'm excited.
I just want to say my conspiratorial mindset was when I saw the Donald Trump, and sorry if this gets a little political, but politics is money and crypto is money. Crypto is politics. We can't really divorce them. But when I saw Donald Trump say, "Hey, my administration won't sell any Bitcoin," and then all of a sudden you get the Democrat administration, and all of a sudden, they just start moving it, and the price starts tanking, and they're almost like, "Oh, you don't want to sell it? Well, then we're gonna sell it. Fuck you." So in my conspiratorial mind, it's like I feel like that's kind of why we got this last real big dip. Well, to me, it was almost like the insiders were like, "Look, we need to sell these Bitcoin to our guys. We need to give them the cheap price. So let's just tank this as much as possible. Our guys on Wall Street will then buy them up, and then if they go up in the future." But I my only deviation from that conspiracy theory is why didn't they sell them sooner?
I've shared this a couple nights ago about, I was at the NFT conference last year, and there was a senator from Washington speaking, or I'm pretty sure it was Washington, and he said something. I was like, man, that's awesome. And I started clapping, and there was quite a few people in the room. There's probably 1,000 people in the room. And he goes, "You all should be clapping because you all know far more about crypto, those of you that are here and those of you that have been in crypto for a long time, than the government entities know." So I thought, and I think this is more empowering for us in crypto to create some type of alliance, some type of entity that basically educates government, because it's like you can't play little league baseball on a major league field. We're in this stuff at a major league level. They don't have, and I don't if I'm misspeaking, I'm not, I apologize in advance, but I don't think that they have the vantage point that we do over crypto, right? So if we educate them and we get an entity of people who've been in crypto a long time that understand it like nobody's business, you have to own crypto to be in it, because a lot of people don't own crypto and they have a lot of opinions about it. I don't understand how that could be something that would be advantageous to people if they don't even own the product or understand the product that they're talking about. So I that's my thought, is to have some entity, a global entity, not just from the States, that educates government, and we're the ones. Look, the cryptocurrency is the ones that's pulling everybody. It's Satoshi, he pulled everybody toward this, the idea of that. So why can't there be some entity that
we have that, Frank? We have that. Thank God we got Brad Garlic Breath of XRP to lead the government in the proper direction.
Yeah. This,
Sarcasm on.
I mean, I want to add one thing to that. Just be careful with politicians all of a sudden turning crypto to get your votes. And I'm not ruling anybody out on both sides. The one guy, though, I will say is RFK Jr. He's been in crypto before it was cool. And I think he has a majority of his net worth in Bitcoin. And he's been pounding on it. And as a matter of fact, they pushed him out of the DNC, because his ideas were radical and they were too he wasn't playing ball per se, and so you got to see how the what do you call it? How they make the sausage in the back, and I don't.
We lost him.
He calling anybody radical.
I think they're launching their own meme coin now or something like that. They're in love with DeFi, and I think it could be a cash grab. So just be careful. That's all.
Who's launching a meme coin?
The Trump Jr. and I think
Yeah.
one of the.
They're not though. They're not. He came out and said he's not launching a meme coin. He said he's going to be doing a platform.
Mhm.
Okay, is there a token associated with the platform?
Well, you don't know that. It could be like
Is there
Uniswap
fees?
before Uniswap.
Is there fees associated with the platform? So
Make
again,
no mistake about it. There's a financial gain to be had there.
they're gonna make money off of it. That's all I said. That's all I said. They're opportunists. They're gonna figure out a way to make money off of it. Again, like I'm neutral, guys. I'm not in any one of the camps. I'm outside. So I make enemies everywhere because I'm neutral. But
sorry.
Yeah, all I'm saying is that family is interested in keeping their wealth. And
Which family isn't?
correct.
I just want to say, just for warning, I am not neutral. I am a one issue voter, and that issue is: are you Trump? Are you Trump? Yes, you got my vote.
Yeah.
Are you Trump? No, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey, you know, it's a.
I may never vote again after this election.
Yeah. I know. I hear you. I definitely see that in a lot of people, and it could be the best outcome. I'm actually really glad that they're embracing it and that they're going to do some. They say they're going to do good things with it, and let's just see how that turns out. Because remember, not too long ago he called it a scam, and not too long ago, you know, there was some negative words towards that industry. And
I don't think he ever called it the scam. He just
did.
said that we have one money and it's the US
no,
dollar.
he called it a scam. I think it's a scam. I don't know what it is. It's not backed by anything. Just don't forget what he said. Don't forget what he said. Like, again, I like, you know, I like that you're voting for him. That's great. But just don't forget what he said. He was also the first person to take the vax and push it to everybody. So don't forget things. Don't forget this. I guess I'm on RFK, Junior.
But you know, you might say, yeah, he was pushing the vax, but he's also been a big anti-vax. He was saying the vaccines were causing autism.
Warp speed. Speed. Yeah, we lifted all the red tape.
Hey, Dane, I got to hop off. You want to wind it down?
Yep, that sounds good. That sounds good.
All right, guys, I'm going to hop off.
Yep, see you, Corey.
Yeah.
In fact, this is probably a good place to wind it down in general. We've been going for about an hour and 15 minutes, so we'll wrap it up here. We appreciate each of you guys jumping on the show today. Appreciate you guys in the comments. It's fun to see a community with varying opinions, and I think that's a fascinating thing to be able to jump into. So once again, appreciate everybody being here. Hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you guys later.